Nappa, whose own muscles had expanded under the power of his Ikari state, watched him with a strange smile. A smile that held no fear, not even the slightest hint of concern. As if no matter how much Tien increased his power, he was nothing more than a tiny ant incapable of harming him.
I'll admit it. You are starting to remind me of Kakarot when he first reached that power, but don't let that fool you. In the end, you are nothing more than a strange-looking human. If you were a true Saiyan, I might have considered you worth my attention. But you are still not worthy of being called my opponent. So give up, before I make you regret ever standing in my way, Three Eyes.
You are rarely right, Nappa. But this time, you got one thing right. I am not Goku. And that means I can use this technique in a completely different way. A way you've never seen before. And one you are not prepared to deal with. Now, look to your right.
What did you say? To my right?
Slowly, he turned his head toward the right, but before he could finish the movement, another Tien suddenly appeared beside him. Nappa wasn't an ordinary opponent. One surprise attack wasn't enough to put him down. Amid the rubble, he pushed himself up with one hand and slowly stood, muttering angrily.
What a dirty trick! I didn't know you wanted to fight like that, Three Eyes!
But the moment he looked up, he froze. There were two Tiens standing side by side.
What the hell am I looking at? Two of you. You've got to be kidding me! What is this? A family reunion? Let me guess. You think having two of you gives you a chance against me?
It seems all Saiyans share the same stupidity. And here I thought Goku was the dumbest of them. Allow me to be your teacher today, big guy. This technique is called the multiform technique. That is why you almost never see Goku use it. But for me, it is one of my signature techniques. Consider yourself lucky. You came back to life just in time to witness its power.
At first, anger flared in Nappa's eyes, but he spat on the ground, forcing himself to stay calm.
The multiform technique? Spare me these cheap tricks. I don't care if there is one of you, or a million. It won't change a thing. You'll still be weak. And you'll always be weak. In fact, I'll enjoy crushing both of you at the same time.
Suddenly, Nappa unleashed his power once again. The earth shook violently. Mountains cracked apart in every direction. Even the air itself grew heavy, as though the very fabric of space were trembling beneath the pressure of his terrifying energy. Far away, Goku watched with wide eyes.
His power! It is still rising? This is insane. I never imagined Nappa had this kind of potential. How much longer is this going to keep increasing? Vegeta?
What is wrong, Kakarot? Starting to get scared. Don't tell me you are thinking about running away. You knew this was going to happen. This is the true power a high-class Saiyan deserves. And I am certain he hasn't even begun yet. I'll admit, for a human, mastering the Kaioken is impressive. But it is time for him to understand why the Saiyans were once feared as the greatest warrior race in the universe.
The next instant, Nappa vanished. He launched himself straight toward his opponent. At the same time, both Tiens charged forward to meet him, 2 against 1.
So, 2 against 1? Doesn't seem very fair, but I guess you need all the help you can get.
The battle exploded. Fists collided at blinding speed as shockwaves tore across the sky. The 3 fighters vanished and reappeared in every direction, exchanging blows so rapidly they became little more than streaks of light. Each managed to land hits on the others, but as the battle dragged on, the tides slowly began to shift. Tien's duplicate, possessing only half of his original power, could no longer keep up with Nappa. One crushing blow, and the clone was sent crashing down unconscious.
Damn it! I never imagined he'd be able to keep up with me like this. I knew he was strong, but not this strong. If I don't end this fight soon, the Kaioken will destroy my body. Either I finish him now, or I'll be the one who falls.
Meanwhile, Nappa charged forward with complete confidence.
Even when both of you attacked together, you still couldn't defeat me. Do you finally understand who you are fighting? Today, you die.
Tien watched him closing the distance at terrifying speed. He realized his time was running out. There was no room left for mistakes. Suddenly, he raised both hands in front of his face, spreading his fingers wide. Then, he shouted at the top of his lungs.
Solar flare!
A blinding burst of white light exploded from between his hands.
My eyes! What did you do, you idiot? I can't see!
Tien seized the opening without hesitation. His duplicate shot through the air toward him. The moment they touched, the 2 bodies merged into one, Tien returned to his full power. He slowly exhaled, never taking his eyes off the blinded Saiyan.
There is no room for error. If I want to win, I'll have to use that technique.
Suddenly, the muscles across his back swelled violently. Then, to everyone's shock, 2 additional arms burst from his back, rapidly growing until they were just as muscular and powerful as his original pair. Tien now stood with 4 arms, ready to unleash his next technique.
It is over, Nappa.
In the next instant, he forced his body far beyond its human limits. His crimson aura erupted violently as his muscles swelled even further, veins bulging across his entire body beneath the unbearable strain.
What? That is impossible. This whole time, that Earthling was hiding power like this.
Even Vegeta, despite his usual composure, couldn't completely hide his surprise. As for Goku, his expression immediately filled with concern. He stepped forward and shouted,
Tien, listen to me. This is insane. What are you trying to prove? Don't push your body this far. You could die. Kaioken X20 is far beyond what a human body can withstand. It is not worth it. Stop before it is too late.
But Tien didn't hear a single word. Every emotion he had buried for over 20 years exploded at once. He charged straight toward the blinded Nappa, unleashing an endless barrage of punches. Nappa couldn't even defend himself. Tien drove a devastating uppercut into Nappa's body. Nappa's body shot into the sky at incredible speed, becoming nothing more than a tiny speck in the heavens. Tien watched calmly. Slowly, he raised all 4 of his arms, then closed his eyes for a brief moment.
It is over, Saiyan. I will never forgive you for what you did to us. Stay calm. This attack will end everything.
In the next instant, he unleashed an enormous beam of energy, a beam that surpassed even the Tri-Beam itself in both size and destructive power. It tore across the sky at terrifying speed. Within a fraction of a second, it struck Nappa squarely in the back. His body blasted upward like a rocket, piercing through the atmosphere, until he became nothing more than a glowing point among the stars. As Nappa's energy vanished, Tien slowly lowered his aura. His chest rose and fell violently. His breathing became ragged. His entire body trembled from exhaustion. Then, he collapsed to one knee, gasping for air. A weary smile appeared on his face.
I finally did it. At last. After more than 20 years, I finally showed him what an Earthling can truly achieve. Maybe I went too far and killed him, but that bastard never deserved a second chance. He never deserved mercy. I am sorry, Goku. I know you are probably angry about what I did, but I had no choice. You never experienced the pain he caused me, or what he did to Chaozu.
Sorry? For what, 10? I don't think this fight is over yet.
What? How can it not be over?
Instinctively, he looked up into the sky. High above, almost at the edge of space, Nappa was still being driven upward by the force of the beam. His body hung motionless, as though life had already left him. His eyes snapped open, only they were no longer the same. They had become a brilliant emerald green. At that very moment, his eyebrows and mustache turned golden, while his mustache rapidly grew into a thick golden beard. His muscles expanded even further. His entire body began trembling violently. Grinding his teeth, he let out a terrifying growl. Then, he uttered a single sentence.
You! Three-eyed freak!
He unleashed a thunderous roar that shook the heavens. Suddenly, a terrifying golden aura exploded from his body, surrounding him in blazing light that tore through the sky like a raging storm. A wide grin spread across his face. Then he threw his head back and laughed.
Finally! I finally become a Super Saiyan! I knew it! Fighting a freak like you was all I needed to awaken the legendary Saiyan power. This is incredible!
In the very next instant, Nappa casually raised one hand. He obliterated the massive energy beam. Then, he vanished. He rocketed back toward the Earth even faster than he had flown into the sky. His eyes were locked onto Tien alone. His voice echoed across the heavens as he roared.
It is bedtime, three-eyed freak. You have no idea what you've awakened. You've awakened a true Super Saiyan!
No, how? How did he survive that attack? And how does he still have this much energy?
His body could no longer move. The Kaioken had drained everything he had. His muscles trembled uncontrollably. His breathing was ragged. He didn't even have the strength to lift his arms. All he could do was watch Nappa descend at terrifying speed.
Is this really Nappa? How does he keep getting stronger? I gave him everything I had. He should have been defeated. Could it be that he possessed talent equal to Goku and Vegeta all along?
This is bad. After becoming a Super Saiyan, Nappa's on a completely different level. Tien won't survive this. I have to stop this.
Enough, Kakarot. That isn't one of your Earthling friends. He is a Saiyan. And this is his battle, not yours. That Earthling chose this fight with his own free will, so he'll face the consequences himself. I am warning you, Kakarot. If you take even one more step, I'll stop you by force. Stop treating everyone like children. Let them fight their own battles. And for once, stop trying to be the hero of every story.
Goku froze. He didn't like Vegeta's words, but he knew there was some truth in them. Slowly, he lowered his fist and silently continued watching. Meanwhile, Nappa had already reached Tien. It seemed as though the end of one of Earth's greatest warriors had finally arrived. But the instant the dust cleared, Tien was still standing exactly where he had been. His eyes were wide with shock, and his body didn't have a single new scratch.
What? What just happened? Who the hell are you? How dare you interfere and stop my final blow? Do you have any idea who you are talking to, you bastard?
As the smoke completely dispersed, a young man stood firmly in front of Tien. He had stopped Nappa's punch with one hand. He calmly raised his eyes to meet Nappa's.
That is enough. Your fight ends here.
And also, that is enough for video today. Share your theories in the comments below. I can't wait to read them. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.